one should have seen this coming. The Lakers have two of the top 5 players in the league.
They complement each other well. They do all the heavy lifting.
I'm just amazed that they talk about anybody other than him for MVP.
James lobs it up, and Davis throws it down.
LeBron is the most impactful player on the floor. He makes guys around him better.
AD dynamite.
The league is not what it is if the Lakers are not winning.
LeBron James putting on the finishing touches.
We know who we are. We know we stack up against the best.
Our NBA Bubble or Nothing segment comes to an end today with a look at all the Kings men in Los Angeles. The Lakers were top dogs in the West when the season was suspended with a comfortable 5.5-game lead over their rival Clippers. The dynamic duo of LeBron and AD has certainly lived up to the hype. LeBron having an MVP-level season, and the Brow is one of the favorites to win Defensive Player of the Year. All right, let's welcome back Kirk for this discussion, and for the sake of this discussion, let's really focus in on LBJ. So, Max, is LeBron James still the best player in the world?
No, he's not. He's not the best player in the world, and his title was taken. It's true, because he was hurt. He didn't have a chance to defend it, but the answer right now is Kawhi Leonard. When it matters most, let's see how everyone plays. Now, to LeBron's great credit, he got wiser as he got older. Instead of, the best LeBron James ever was on the Heat when he turned into an all-world defender and his offense was as great as ever, right? Like, that was the best LeBron. But as he aged, he realized that you cannot put that much effort into both ends of the floor all season plus the playoffs, as he's going to be making finals runs every year. And he was right. He was smart. He took his foot off the gas in the regular season, especially on the defensive end, except for high leverage moments, so that he could do his thing in the playoffs. And LeBron became one of the all-time great postseason performers in the history of American team sports, right? Like, he really elevated in the playoffs, and he always had that to show us, I'm still the best, right? Oh, wait a minute, look at Steph. He's now the best player in the world, won MVP and deserved it. Playoffs came, LeBron showed he's the best. Look at KD, and he's a two-way wing like LeBron. Playoffs came around, even when KD was winning the championship, LeBron still left no doubt, especially in that first series against the Warriors, that he was still the best player in the world. But guess what happened? He got hurt. And he got hurt during a year and at an age where, once again, there were other players, the Greek Freak during the regular season, who showed that they were better than LeBron in the regular season. But LeBron would have the playoffs to prove his point, right? No, he didn't have that. And in his absence, someone emerged. A guy who'd already won a finals MVP. A guy who proved himself in the biggest moments in the crucible of the playoffs against the likes of the Greek Freak in the East, Simmons and Embiid in the East. And then, of course, it was a hobbled Warriors team, but LeBron wasn't going to do anything against that Warriors team if they were at full strength anyway. Kawhi showed from wire to wire in the playoffs when it mattered most that he elevated to LeBron James levels when it mattered most, so he won his second finals MVP award. It is now on LeBron to go get it back. Go take it from Kawhi. It's probably going to be the Lakers and the Clippers. Go get it, Bron. I predict he won't. And right now, at any rate, the crown rests on the head of the reigning and defending finals MVP, Kawhi Leonard.
Nope, and hell nope. No, LeBron is still the best player in the world. I get what you're saying about Kawhi Leonard, what he was able to do. There's no doubt you shouldn't even begin to take that away from him. But LeBron still impacts a game, Max, better than Kawhi Leonard, even though he was not in the playoffs last year. I'm not going to go against the guy that is averaging over 10 assists per game, which would make him the oldest player to lead the league in assists. He still impacts the game in so many different ways more than anybody else. And I'm a Giannis fan. I love what he's been able to do with the Milwaukee Bucks. And Kawhi Leonard, yeah, he loves having that ability to do that, especially making his way on defense and keeps getting better and better offensively. But you got a guy in LeBron James that continues to elevate his game and continue to elevate his teammates' game. Kawhi may have that championship belt because his team's the last team to win the championship. But he is still the best player in the world, meaning number 23 in the four and blue and gold playing for the Los Angeles Lakers. Whatever they needed him to do this year, he's done it. Playing in the post, knocking down threes better than people could have anticipated, running that basketball team, orchestrating that basketball team. He does so many different things as a Swiss Army knife and being in charge of everything and making that work. Kawhi Leonard is great, no doubt about that. But the dude in the same city as him is LeBron James. And that dude is not only the best player in Los Angeles, that LeBron James is still the best player in the world.
Max, you have to start sitting down and actually watching the games like you do in boxing. You're really great at that. You know when to say, hey, the guy should have jabbed here and he should have threw an uppercut. This. You have to start watching the game, Max, because LeBron James is the best basketball player on this planet. And he's been that over the past 13 years. He's been that over the past 13 years, and he's still that to the day. We're not going to live in the past and say, oh, because he was injured, that he got dethroned. No, we're going to talk about this season. This season, he's the best basketball player in the world. When you look at the impact that he has on the court, yes, since you're a numbers guy, he averaged 26 points, almost 11 assists, and 8 rebounds. I get that. But let's not take for granted what he brings to the table when he's on the court, the little things that he do. Right, being the floor general, making sure he put guys in position to be successful, putting guys in the right spots, making it easier on guys on the offensive end. Defensively, if you watch LeBron James, he's the best communicator in the game today on the defensive end. Even when he's not involved in the play, he's on the weak side telling guys where to rotate. Hey, the play's coming to you. Hey, it's coming your way. Hey, get ready, Dwight. They about to post you up. When you have that type of guy, that type of leadership, that type of greatness directing you, not only doing your job, but helping others do their job and make sure that they're able to do their roles while they're on the court, that is greatness. That is the best player in the world. No discredit to Kawhi, because I love Kawhi. I think he's the second best player in the world today, with Kevin Durant being hurt. But when we talk about the things that LeBron James bring to the table, and if you've been watching these scrimmages during this bubble time, he's been on a mission. He's been directing them. He's been the floor general, defensively. Like I said before, he's doing everything. Oh, yeah, okay, Max.
Kawhi's for the finals. He's not for scrimmage, guys. Listen, first of all, counting numbers. I'm so sick of you. Look at the points, rebounds, and assists. That is any great player who's very high usage in an era or a system like that will rack up a lot of numbers. Guys, Wilt Chamberlain averaged 50 points, 1961-62 season. That same season, Elgin Baylor averaged 37, and Oscar Robertson had 30-point triple-double on the season. That's because that year, the environment was conducive to those kind of numbers. That doesn't mean those three were better than Jordan and Olajuwon and Shaq.
Mike.
They weren't. But they're comparable in every era. So when you talk about counting numbers, yes, LeBron James, like Westbrook did, it's not that they're not super great. It's that those numbers don't tell you the whole story. That's number one. Number two, this becomes like a religious...
Max, I get all the usage stuff, but they still have to, as a player, you still have to put in that work. You can't discredit these numbers.
Let's talk about that.
They still have to go out there and perform. They move LeBron.
Let's talk about that. LeBron is great.
Performing at an extremely high level.
Let's talk about that. LeBron is great, super great, one of the greatest ever, including this season. No doubt about it. There's never been a team in the history of basketball with 2 top 5 players that's not a powerhouse. I'm not diminishing what he's doing. He is a great point guard. He's the best point guard in basketball. And if he played the 4, he'd be the best 4 in basketball. You know, like wherever he played, he'd be the best or second best player in that position in the sport. But you put any 2 top 5 players on the same team from any era, they're going.
Everyone should have seen this coming. The Lakers have 2 of the top 5 players in the league.
They complement each other well. They do all the heavy lifting.
I'm just amazed that they talk about anybody other than him for MVP.
James lobs it up, and Davis throws it down.
LeBron is the most impactful player on the floor. He makes guys around him better.
Indeed, dynamite.
The league is not what it is if the Lakers are not winning.
LeBron James putting on the finishing touches.
We know who we are. We know we stack up against the best.
Our NBA Bubble or Nothing segment comes to an end today with a look at all the Kings men in Los Angeles. The Lakers were top dogs in the West when the season was suspended with a comfortable 5.5-game lead over their rival Clippers. The dynamic duo of LeBron and AD has certainly lived up to the hype. LeBron having an MVP level season, and the Brow is one of the favorites to win Defensive Player of the Year. All right, let's welcome back Kirk